talk to him.
All right, guys, welcome to the WAN show. Thank you for tuning in on your Friday afternoon. We were actually just noticing that viewership has been a little bit lower than usual over the last little bit, and we were trying to figure it out, and we went, exams. So there's no excuse this week. You guys should all be tuning in and hearing about the latest technologies and shaving technologies from Dollar Shave Club and notebook technologies from our sponsor Asus.
JayZ.
JayZ is, I'll tell you what, if JayZ is ever a sponsor of the show, then I will shave my head with my Dollar Shave Club razor, and I will eat my hair. I will eat every...
With, like, all the shaving cream and stuff?
Yes, every last bit of it.
Is that toxic?
I hope not. I think if I actually died from consuming a product of a sponsor, they would probably stop sponsoring the show.
Mainly because you're dead.
There would be multiple reasons. We've got a great show for you today, guys. Towns is abandoned after selling 200,000 copies. And if you don't know what Towns is, it is a game.
We can't give them everything right now.
I know.
So that's it.
We gotta hold out on them.
Yep.
Apple is rumored to be buying Beats Electronics for $3.2 billion, which would make it their biggest acquisition to date. A marriage made in heaven, perhaps? Match made in heaven? A marriage of devils? Well, I don't personally really have anything against Apple products.
Whoa. Let's wait.
All right.
We're giving too much information, man. There's Oculus Rift Bird Simulator. See, that's it.
I'll show you too much information. That bowel movement that I had before we started the show? Wow.
I might have heard that. Anyways, Amazon patents taking photos against a white background. And then intro time.
No, you forgot about the Oculus thing.
I just said that.
How could you forget Oculus?
I just said that.
I didn't hear it.
What? I said what? I said Oculus Rift Bird Simulator.
If I didn't hear it, it didn't happen.
All the information I'm
It's
giving.
not like you have a dash
cam. And then you were like, I'm going to give too much information. That was what led into that whole thing.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, you never set up the intro, did you?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Thank you for tuning into the WAN Show, guys. Our sponsors today are Asus with the G750 JayZ gaming notebook and Dollar Shave Club, the fast, easy, inexpensive, and expedient way to save time and money. Don't worry too much about the redundancy, guys. Dollar Shave Club gives you only the features that you need on your razor, as opposed to vibrating dill handles. I lost track of what we were talking about. Okay, so let's move into our first topic, which is just unbelievable. So this was originally posted on the forum by Pit5000, and Amazon has allegedly made it so that Linus didn't plug in his notebook before they started the stream, so he's going to have to go ahead and just pray to the technology gods that this is going to... That's really terrible. Not sure what happened there. Why the sound? Let's try that one more time. I apologize sincerely to our lovely viewers who did not want to hear that HDMI. Oh, the title of the show is wrong. Thank you for that, Nick. We actually have a new guy, Nick, who is responsible for reminding me of things that are that should have been done. Yes, I'm really sorry about that noise. I apologize. Did it update? Are we good?
There
Are we
go.
golden? Yeah.
It was
all
like
right.
error. I was like, okay, do it again.
Thank you, Twitch. You are so awesome. I love you. Okay, well that's better. All right, so Pit5000 posts, this is great, an article that originally appeared on Gizmodo.com about Amazon's revolutionary new patent, taking photos on a white background. Now, to be clear, this isn't pure patent troll asshattery.
Yeah.
It's just mostly patent troll asshattery. And to be clear, patent troll mostly refers to when the company uses their patents
To be aggressive about things and attack people.
to attack others. And really, the funniest thing about this patent to me is not that Amazon filed for it or that it was granted, but that... No, I don't know what
I'm least surprised that they filed for it, because big companies just file for everything.
Yeah.
Just to see if they can make something stick. I'm extremely surprised it was ever granted, and I'm sure they are too. But there's some specific interesting things. They go down into specifics on the level of how much wattage the lights use, what ISO your camera has to be at, what f-stop your camera has to be at.
Here's a diagram.
Exact positioning of all the lights and all the cameras. Like, it's insanely specific. If you go, you can see some of it here, and if you go to the second source in the doc, you can actually scroll down and then see all the crazy specifics that are on there. So the second source right there.
Yeah, so here's the actual
And then
patent
scroll down a
office.
bunch.
Here, I'm just gonna switch
Sure,
over
yeah.
there. So, I mean, okay, I guess the thing that surprises me...
Here.
Is-
These are all the crazy specifics.
Yeah, so wherein the second rear light source is further positioned at a distance above the floor that is about 1.5 to 2.5 times the first distance and oriented at a downward 45-degree angle relative to the floor. And it's like this entire thing. So, you know what? No. The thing that surprises me is that Amazon filed for this,
Yeah?
as opposed to that it was granted, because it's specific enough. Basically, the idea is that Amazon doesn't want to waste resources, and really no one does. They don't want to waste resources touching things up in post-processing. We waste a fair bit of time around here using a green screen, because when you have a green screen, if the lights aren't exactly the same that time, or the actor stands a little bit further back or further forward, or whatever the case may be, you can end up with a situation where you have to touch it up and you have to tweak it in order to get it to look right.
And people will be able to tell because
That's right.
of the pixels.
That's right. Amazon's technique requires no touch-ups. And that's what they're patenting. They're patenting a perfect technique for taking photos on a white background so that no touch-ups are required. So I can kind of see why it would be granted. The thing I don't understand is why Amazon bothered to file it, because of two things. Number one is that by filing this extremely detailed patent, all they've effectively done is given anyone and their dog the ability to replicate their supposed perfect technique that has never been done before for taking perfect product photos. The other thing is that they could never prove that anyone reading this patent and replicating their exact technique used it. Someone could just say, oh, well, no, I had the pedestal slightly lower.
It was at 39.5 degrees.
So,
Like, there's so many very specific things that you could change by a very small amount and then dodge the patent.
so I don't understand the point of it. Maybe you guys can enlighten me. You know what? Twitter Blitz. Obviously, I know I don't need to see the usual rant about how the patent system is flawed. Ah! We know.
Everyone knows
It's
that.
terrible.
And this, honestly, this is going to help that case a lot.
Yeah.
Because, like, this is ridiculous.
I mean, it is ridiculous, but with some of the stuff that we've seen get through, it doesn't surprise me that it got approved. Yeah. But I would like to hear you guys say, does this seem like the kind of thing that Amazon should have even bothered with? Or does it seem like the kind of thing that they... Well, yeah, that's pretty much... There's only really one answer here, isn't there? You know what? Yeah. Random Twitter Blitz. Hit us up on @LinusTech and let us know... something.
Anything.
We love you guys. We just want to hear from you.
You never call.
Oh, how funny that it's Mother's Day coming up, and that's the first thing on your mind.
I was not
guilty conscience much?
Before. I was like just there.
Guilty conscience.
I've been to my parents' house twice this week.
Guilty conscience.
And the week's not even over.
I tried to go visit my mom, but she was too busy with her grandson at the pond to take her phone with her, so I sat in the parking lot at their apartment building for an hour. I was able to make good use of the time. I switched over from the 1M8 to the 5S. So, bam!
When's your review coming?
Thanks to my mom, I'm an Apple user again. It's going to be coming probably not this weekend, but next weekend is the plan. So I'll be doing like a retrospective, what it was like being an iOS user and then an Android user, now an iOS user again. But I'll spoil the ending for you guys. I am switching back to the One M8.
Oh.
So that's going to happen. What I'd really like to do is give the Moto X a longer try, because I only really used it for my review, and I didn't use it for as long as I would have liked. So he's borrowing the Moto X because he can't keep his phones in one place or not broken. But I'd like to give the Moto X another shot, and then I'll probably end up on the One M8 again. Speaking
One
of
thing I like about the Moto X,
yes,
is that, you know, I don't know if the One M8 can do this, but I found a lot of Android phones, the OK Google thing doesn't really work.
Siri is amazing. Okay.
With Moto X, you can just say OK Google and it'll start working.
Oh yeah, that's unique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, why isn't that on everything?
Siri is amazing.
I've never used it.
So get this. I didn't even know if it could do this. The thing about Google Now is that you have to kind of like Google what it can do.
Yeah.
And then you have to like remember what it can do. It's not intuitive. Last night, I set an alarm for 8:30. And I was like... my wife was like, "You're not going to get up at 8:30." I was like, No, I'm going to get up at 8:30. She's like, "You're not going to get up at 8:30. I'm going to wake up. I'm not going to be able to go back to sleep. And you're not going to get up till 9. So set your alarm till 9. And I was like, motivate me. And so I set my alarm to 9. And so all I had to do is be like, tomorrow's alarm for 8:30, change it to 9 o'clock or something along those lines. Like in my own vernacular, I just told it what to do. And it's like, okay, I changed that for you. And like I didn't even believe it. I had to double check.
I don't think you could do that with Google Now.
And I was just like, holy crap. Google has... And
I think you could do it in 2 steps. I think you could remove the alarm, then you could create a new one. But it's not as elegant.
And like, Google's voice calling is ridiculous. It's stupid.
Voice calling? What do you mean?
If you're like, call whoever, mobile, it's like, would you like to call this... Yes, I just said that. Would you like to call home? Yes, I just said that! Apple, would you call my wife? Mobile. Calling mobile. Ringing.
The only people I really call are in my favorites anyways. So it's almost faster for me to just be like, click on phone, click on person.
But like driving and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, like true. I have reasons that because normally, I'll dial, and there are things that I miss about Android. Like Apple doesn't have T9 dialing, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Like head explode awesome the first time I saw it. And that's how I dial most of the time. But Siri is so much easier to use than Google Now that I just absolutely love it.
I'm not super great with Google Now, so someone might...
someone's probably tearing me apart because there's some exact way that you can word it so that Google Now will understand you. But I don't care. That's not a great user experience.
That's one thing, even without using Siri, that I've been kind of able to pick up.
SparkFox is like, don't even start on S-Voice.
Well, S-Voice...
Sorry, go ahead.
No one cares. Didn't they do a thing recently about like how much people actually use the S apps? It was like, not at all. I can't remember who did that. I have no source. I think that happened.
No, I missed that. That sounds fantastic, though. But I already love it.
If you've ever seen her, Siri seems more like the AI operating systems in her. Google Now seems more like the thing he's using before that, but like a really early version of it.
Right.
Because you can kind of talk to Siri.
Yep.
You can't really talk to Google Now. If you try to talk to it, it'll just Google what you said.
I hate that so
I hate
much.
That too,
It makes me so mad.
Like no, I didn't want it to happen.
So mad.
If I wanted you to Google something, I would have said like Google search and then what I wanted.
You know what pisses me off most about Google Now is I live in Surrey. I live in a city.
Right.
I live in a city called Surrey. Okay, and so half the time I try to navigate anywhere, it's like something Siri.
Siri.
Whereas Siri knows what I'm talking about. It can tell the difference between Surrey and Siri. And that is impressive to me. All right, nice. So that actually led in really well to a couple of topics here. So number one was, oh, balls, where is it?
What?
Yes, Stephen Hawking says AI could be our worst nightmare. You were talking about her.
That is a very bad quote.
Or worst mistake in history or something.
Yeah, because they're grabbing like the second half of it. It could be like it could be the best thing or it could be the worst mistake.
Yeah, so fortunately Minimalist, the gent who posted this, or lady who posted this on the forum, has the actual quote, which is sort of blah, 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 blah. It's good, saying it could be the most significant thing to ever happen in human history, as it's... Oh, no, wait, no, he didn't. Oh, bollocks. All right, so we'll have to go here. Could be our worst mistake in history, but that is a very sensationalist headline. Okay, forget it. Luke already covered it pretty well. So the idea is that what he actually said is that it could be the greatest thing ever, or it could also be our worst mistake, because we can't predict what...
Here it is. Although we are facing potentially the best or worst thing to happen to humanity in history. So they grabbed like the second half of a sentence, then we're like, oh my god! But what he actually said was best or worst.
And I'm gonna post this. I'm gonna post this link in the Twitch chat because that's something that we should always do in general.
Yeah.
And you know what? I was proud of the internet today, because I was reading this article and I was like, oh, great article, but you know, I wonder what people think about it. It's got like a bajillion comments under it. George Dvorsky here actually posted like a cogent and well-structured and respectful sort of disagreement with what everyone else is saying that I really quite enjoyed reading. Or maybe that's not the right one. Oh crap, hold on. Which one was it?
Those look like a lot of very well thought out replies, which is not very common.
There was
one.
Yeah. This is the one. This one's right. George Dvorsky's thing is absolutely awesome, and he kind of talks about how...
I think that's PV talking to George Dvorsky.
Oh, okay, PV, you are the man or woman, because that is a great response, and it just kind of talks about how a lot of the fear that people have of AI is based on the assumption that AI would behave the way that humans do, and that it would perceive a lesser being as something it has to crush or has to destroy. And he kind of outlines three likely scenarios. So scenario A, which is that the AI attempts to destroy humanity, scenario B, that the AI attempts to help humanity, and scenario C, that it just does nothing at all. And the argument that AI would probably choose option C or option B without us noticing, so a combination of the two, seems most likely if a computer were to operate from a purely logical perspective. What does it stand to gain destroying us, really?
Well, probably a better environment.
A better environment for what? It's metal? It's not like it's going to take up space.
But it needs to be able to gain electricity. If it had solar electricity, we could possibly pollute the sky or ruin things.
Right.
If its only goal is gaining electricity, we are organisms that are using electricity as well. So if it got rid of us, then it could use all the electricity.
Which assumes that it needs more electricity.
Which assumes that it needs more. I don't know.
So
I haven't even read this. I'm just throwing in devil's advocacy. So
yeah, I mean, so anyway, this writer makes a very, very strong argument for it probably doing nothing.
And honestly, that's kind of my side of it as well. Is because we would pretty much have to program in the like hate for us for that to even happen.
Or not. I mean, because the whole thing, the whole AI thing
is that it can learn.
Is that it can learn and it can come up with its own ideas. And if that idea happens to be a way to improve itself or to manipulate people to, you know, improve it or whatever else the case may be, I suspect a very smart being would want to do all that without being noticed. That's all.
Yeah.
All right, so, and that actually led really well into one of our... Oh, you know what? Let's do our Twitter Blitz, and then we'll move into one of the other things that led pretty well into one of our topics here, which was Samsung's head of mobile design resigns after the Galaxy S5's poor reception. So, I definitely, you know, Samsung's one of those companies that just, I don't know what it is, but they're pretty fun to beat up. You know, like I love a lot of things about them, but other times they just make me want to shake my head and cry. All right, so Mark says, Linus, why do you use IE? Because this is a fresh OS, and IE is what I'm logged into everything with.
There's Firefox on that computer.
I know, but I'm not logged into everything. I'm lazy. Don't forget the outro this time. Thank you, Joey. Oh, here's Linus in his Lambo.
Where is that picture? Whenever anyone photoshops anything, that's always the picture of you that they use.
This picture?
Yeah.
It is from a thumbnail on an ancient NCIX Tech Tips outside of the old NCIX, like before you.
No, I know,
NCIX
but you don't have it on
Studio.
any profiles or anything anymore?
I used to have it on my first Google Plus profile.
So, like, how is it? Anyways, I see it so often.
This is, see, you can tell the quality of this one is quite poor.
Yeah.
So this could have been pulled from someone else putting it somewhere.
Ah, okay.
So I think that's how things spread on the
internet.
internet.
That makes sense, yeah.
As the patent is so specific, it's fairly worthless, not like the covers everything related Apple ones. Exactly, and that is exactly my point.
Why it's
did
so
they
confusing.
even bother? How is it even worth the thousands of dollars that it costs to file a patent?
Yeah.
All they're doing is revealing how I could go and build that studio tomorrow. Thank you, Amazon.
Yeah, we.
Not that I'm going to do that.
Of course not.
Because we use.
We might do something similar, but
yeah, we could do it with green instead of white.
Yeah.
When is the NCIX Ultimate NAS setup video coming? At some point. I'm not sure. It's up to Wheels over there. And why no guests in WAN? Quite frankly, because I'm lazy. Intel Z97 is out with Haswell Refresh coming on Sunday. I've never understood why Intel does this, or AMD for that matter, where they launch a chipset without a CPU or vice versa. So, I mean, we have like a literal stack of Z97 boards that I haven't even looked at because why would I even bother benchmarking them with non-Haswell Refresh chips? Yeah. I don't understand. So we'll wait until some Haswell Refresh stuff lands, and then we'll get on that for you guys. Okay, did you know about Boinc? Yes.
We have a Boinc team on the forums that is like huge.
Yes.
So if you're interested in joining, check it out. We're top in Canada for like a few different things, and we're world recognized. So yeah. We also have a giant folding team if you want to join that too. The folding team is actually bigger in relation than the Boinc team is. So. David
Cooper says, if you make a great AI, someone will eventually tell it to do something evil, but that assumes the AI can't think for itself, which it can, because it's AI.
That'll listen to anyone.
Awesome, Jake Plush, thank you. Rob says, I just ordered some IE80s, thanks to the recommendation, and yes, I used the sponsor link. Rob, you're awesome.
Yay!
Thank you for being awesome. Also, the IE80s are awesome.
Yeah.
I still use them every day. I love them. They're fantastic. I used iPhone 4. My experience was very disappointing. It was since I switched then, but I may test the iPhone 6. I'm really interested to see what Apple does with iPhone 6. If you don't think 5 days is not... Oh, this is a tweet in response to something that I was talking about on Twitter last night where OnePlus offered me a 5-day loaner unit of the OnePlus One, and I basically told them... forget it, because what I can do is like I'll play around with it for 5 days and then I can talk about it on WAN Show, but I'm not going to do a review because, quite frankly, our review of the One M8, which I think represents the very best that I can do, at least right now, in terms of a phone review. Our review of the One M8 took me well over a week just to use the phone and make notes on and prepare. And then, like, obviously, it wasn't a week dedicated to just that. I was making other videos throughout that week. But everything's kind of like that, where I'll spend a week with it part-time, and I'll be making notes as I go. Then, it took me hours to compile into a full script, hours to shoot, and then it took a full day for one of my editors to edit. So I'm sitting there going, okay, so you're going to give me 5 days with this? What, I'm going to rush my review... all in the name of I can play with a phone for 5 days? Well, I'm sorry, what's in this for me? What's in this for my viewers? Why am I doing this?
Even, like, our phone reviews actually started off with month-long trials. That was the whole thing with us starting phone reviews. And then even with the Tegra Note, which I didn't even do a ton on, I had it for slightly over a week. And on the Saturday during that week, I spent literally the entire day doing nothing else except for playing with the tablet. So... yeah.
So that's kind of the idea. We don't necessarily do the spec-heavy reviews that other guys do or the benchmarks that they do. We focus on what it's like to actually use the bloody thing. I noticed I never got the Tegra Note back.
It's doing...
Ah, that's right. Oh, we have a really cool video coming soon. There's a product that claims to use UV light to clean your phone at night. So we got like real Petri dishes and stuff. And, like, did swabs and stuff. So we're going to let you guys know if that works. That's coming really soon.
That was, like, immediately after my...
Yeah, I remember that now. I thought you were stealing company property again. Why? Wherever would I get that idea? Wherever would I get that idea?
Unlike you.
All right, so let's move on to our next topic here. Samsung's head of mobile design resigns after Galaxy S5's poo reception. It's funny where that got cut off on the page.
It's because he zoomed in too much.
There we go. Poor. I mean,
that's pretty accurate.
In terms of parties, what would a poo reception be?
Hopefully not fondue.
Hopefully not fondue. Aww. Aww.
I was trying to think of some way to spin it well, and then I was like, well, it could be like a fondue thing, and then I was like, that's actually really disgusting.
That's actually a lot worse. So anyway, so follow posted originally on the forum by ETRJ. So he has resigned following criticism about the Galaxy S5's lack of, thank you for using a word that I actually don't know how to pronounce. Appreciate that, ETRJ. So, though the Galaxy S5's design did not actually deviate too far from earlier models, its looks and textured plastic back were roundly? I'm not even reading this anymore. You're from, like, the UK and you're writing it wrong. So, basically, reviewers didn't like the build quality. They didn't like the backing material. I don't know what people didn't like about the backing material. I liked it.
It's different.
It's easier to grip.
I'm not against it.
Yeah, like, I actually quite like the backing of the Galaxy S5. It's one of the things I did like about it, because I don't like TouchWiz, that's for sure. I mean, honestly, I think the criticism of the S5 is less about the S5 not being a solid incremental improvement. Honestly, the build quality feels a lot better than the S4 to me. It has less flex in it by far. It's waterproof, or water resistant rather, and all that stuff. But I think it's more to do with the phone community getting bored and not actually recognizing their own boredom for what it is. It's harder for them to find things to get excited about compared to in the past when there were so many amazing new innovations coming with every new smartphone. And we've talked about this a fair bit on the show, but it's kind of like PC enthusiasts saying, you know, MSI or Asus's or whoever's new motherboard isn't exciting, therefore it sucks. Well, really, it's just mature now, and it's not changing much anymore, and you're just not into it that much anymore. And I think people are not recognizing that they're losing the interest, maybe not in the software side. I think there's still a lot of innovation to happen on the software side of things, but in terms of the hardware, we've all basically consolidated down to, you know, an iPhone 1 of various sizes or shapes.
Yeah, that's very, very similar. So one thing that I like every single time we bring this up, I bring up LG because they did move the buttons to the back. Like, there is things you can do with layout and stuff that still has been untried yet, and there's going to be things like virtual keyboards and stuff that people are going to be working on, but it's not going to be like major, drastic, game-changing things on every single phone release.
So that's what I think this is. I mean, you know, despite the perceived lack of beauty, Samsung managed to sell 86 million smartphones in Q4 last year, widening its lead over Apple. But Samsung is apparently struggling to make a profit on its phone, thanks in part to... I hate the way this is written. Anyway, they spend a lot on marketing, so that's costing them a lot. I guess that's all there is to really say about that. Is I think it's just people not being excited about the phones in general, and not that Samsung is particularly doing anything wrong. I mean, I mean they are doing things wrong, but they're not doing anything really new wrong. Like they're still making TouchWiz for old people, which right. I don't know how to fix something like that. Because when you've cornered the market on old people who can't see their screens very well, it's not like you want to go ahead and change all your UI elements and make them small.
But you could have like a scaling option or something.
Yeah, you could have scaling that works better, I guess.
Yeah.
That's an option. All right, so I was looking for a segue here, and I've got nothing. But
no,
this
I don't think
is absolutely brutal. I mean, when I first heard about this, I was kind of sitting there going, well, geez, I hope this doesn't go anywhere because we review things, and sometimes we say negative things about them. So you were actually looking into this a fair bit, I thought. Do you want to cover this one? I've done a lot of talking.
But I don't know where it's really going to go. Amazon axed them really hardcore, really quickly.
Well, you're skipping to the ending. You haven't told them what happened yet.
I don't like. Okay, so someone posted a review, and then MediaBridge freaked out. People are saying that MediaBridge has had falsified or faked reviews in the past, and then this one crazy inflammatory review was really bad. MediaBridge came back saying that, oh, you cost all these people jobs and all this kind of stuff by posting this review, and it's inflammatory, so we're going to go after you. I'm not exactly what sure happened between them at that point, but then Amazon axed them completely. They cannot sell through Amazon anymore. I believe that still does mean that other sellers through Amazon could sell their products.
Right.
But they can't sell as an Amazon product, which will probably hurt them a lot, because I know, at least me, I know there's people that don't care, but personally, if I'm buying something off Amazon, it has to come from Amazon. Or else,
really?
Why am I buying it off Amazon?
Oh, I just buy stuff off Amazon Marketplace all the time. The reason is that Amazon Marketplace means you have Amazon's customer service as a protective
I've tried
backup.
that before. Didn't really work.
Really? Oh,
They were like, yeah, we can't really do much. It's not us. I was like, okay.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That's why I personally only do it through Amazon. I have done it. Example, I have done it before.
Right.
And it totally didn't work out at all. I bought an old school game, and it came in the box and stuff, and it was a really good price, and I ordered it online, and I've never really liked ordering old school games online, because it's very possible, like, the game store that I buy from locally, they have, like, a 9-day return thing. So you can go home, make sure the game actually works, because it's probably ancient, and then if it doesn't work, you can get your money back. Online, that can be kind of an issue, right?
Right. Sometimes it's not even worth the cost of shipping it back.
Yeah, it depends. This time, it didn't work, and I was like, okay, well, I want my money back, because it was a nice in-box game, and it did cost a little bit of money, and they weren't responding, so I went to Amazon customer service, and they were like, welp.
Huh.
I don't know.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
Well, you learn something every day. So basically, what it looked like was going to happen here at first was that just, a guy posted a negative review where the negative review did contain some pretty specific criticisms of MediaBridge / MediaLink, and that was that it was just a rebadged router, which honestly, a lot of consumers think that that's a really big deal. It's not.
Most things that you're going to be buying are actually rebadged.
Have you ever bought, and it depends on how you even want to define, rebadged. Have you ever bought a D-Link wireless adapter? Because it's just going to have an Atheros or Marvell chipset on a PCB that's just going to be basically a reference design.
With some plastic thing around it.
With a plastic thing. Is that a rebadge? I don't know. Is that an integrated product from a supplier and that they sell to the consumer? But probably. I don't know. So, I mean, maybe it was a rebadge, maybe it wasn't. What the reviewer also said was that... said it was blah, 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 said that they had falsified other reviews on Amazon in order to make their products seem better than they are, which is a pretty serious accusation. And so if they were going to go after him for libel, then that would be there would potentially be a case there. And then the problem, though, is that what MediaBridge did is they came back saying, you have harmed MediaBridge. We intend to hold you liable for all damages sustained. They said he must delete his negative product review on Amazon within 3 days of receiving the letter, stop all defamatory and injurious conduct toward the company, and agree never to purchase or comment on a MediaBridge product again. So the reviewer has actually since changed the review to remove the statements, but, I think that that's not...
This quote too.
The damage is just kind of done at this point.
The quote about the reviewer removing the statement is kind of interesting because it goes exactly like this: the reviewer has since changed his review completely to remove the libelous statements, but unfortunately not before having an army attack us on the internet.
Yeah, this is from MediaBridge. So they're basically accusing the reviewer of colluding with other internet denizens to go and thumbs up the review, because it was a big part of the problem for MediaLink, I guess, is that it was the most helpful negative review. Yeah. And honestly, those are the ones that people see. The most helpful positive one, the most helpful negative one. And it had a bunch of people thumbsing it up saying it was helpful, so...
And sometimes I see Reddit as just a pack of dogs that needs something to go after all the time. It could be positive, it could be negative, it could be whatever, and maybe it just happened that there was no other really super important, super positive or super negative news at that point in time, and it hit Reddit at the right point in time. They're just like, rah! Because that happens.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
definitely a thing.
it's funny they use the word army because you could probably describe the Reddit community as an army sometimes. You know, who that army works for exactly, we're not sure. But
Not entirely, yeah.
for the people in theory, I guess. But sometimes, you know, an army of the people without, you know, clear leadership and a clear sort of direction can just kind of do things. And whether they were wrong here or not, actually hard to say. I mean, it's possible that Media Bridge was totally off base. It's possible that the reviewer was totally off base and saying things that just blatantly weren't true. But then it's always better to communicate with that person rather than having a lawyer do the communication.
Yeah, or just prove them wrong.
Yeah, I mean, that's the issue to me, is when the opening salvo is do this or else, cease and desist or else. The opening salvo should be, hey, yo, do you mind?
Yeah, yeah.
And then if that's a problem, well, then you get the lawyers involved.
Or, like, talk to Amazon about their review service and try to bring up the whole, like, oh, well, he posted, like, surprisingly positive reviews on other people's things just to make ours look really bad and theirs look good and all that kind of stuff. Talk to Amazon about that. Talk to him. Try and prove that you're not rebadging, even though that probably doesn't matter. Try and prove all these other different things. And then you get posed as the good person, and then the Reddit army gets behind you instead of in front of you.
Good old Reddit army. All right, so we've got our next topic here, and that is that the developers... This is just...
This is interesting.
This is terrible.
So, I think the official post saying that he was actually taking it down wasn't even done by the original developer. Let's see here. Yeah. It wasn't even done by the original developer. It was done by a guy that joined on, and his agreement was that he would make 15% of the sales of towns. Mm-hmm. So it became not worth it for him personally because town sales were going down. The game isn't even released yet, but town sales were going down. So he wasn't making enough money. The original creator also felt like he wasn't making enough money, although the game is worth how much? And then it's selling 200,000 times, so that dude probably did actually make quite a bit of money. And in this post, they talk about how they're interested in making a sequel. Did you know that part?
Okay, we haven't really given the audience any context. Did you sleep much last night? Are you tired?
No, but it's pretty straightforward.
Okay, but we haven't told
It's an early access game that hasn't been released yet. I saw that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Then I haven't been sleeping much.
Last night? It's like the second thing that you just straight up didn't hear. Anyways, it first launched on Steam at the end of 2012. It's an in-development game. It's I think it's through the Greenlight system that it was. Yeah, it was one of the Greenlit games. It's not out yet. Sold 200,000 copies. Has been abandoned, and they're planning on releasing a sequel.
I mean, the original dev abandoned it in February, saying burned out. Handed it over to Florian Frankenberger, and then within a couple of months, now it's not going well, and development has been completely abandoned. I mean, how do you fix this?
I don't know. People have been talking about contractual obligation to complete a game if it gets greenlit. So if you
what does complete mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, ask EA.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's hard. This is a problem with early access. And then we got that guy posting on our forums where taking this away is going to hurt a massive amount of developers.
Yeah.
But then leaving this here is going to hurt a massive amount of people.
Well, because there are the success stories with early access, like Minecraft. What an enormous success story.
And there's a lot of games that, honestly, people are enjoying playing right now because they're honestly not that broken and probably shouldn't be in beta or early access that are currently in early access. Like, I know Rust. A lot of people were playing Rust and having no real problems with it. Now, I know there's a ton of bugs, but don't worry about it. For a long time, and I don't know if it's released now or not, but like a lot of people were playing it very actively. There's a huge community behind it, and it was fine. It's going okay, and there's a lot of games that are like that. The guy that posted in our forum, I believe, was for like Robot Dodgeball or something. Robot Disco Dodgeball. I saw them at PAX East actually. So yeah, I don't know how you exactly fix this. A big problem is what you just brought up. Whereas if you put like a contractual obligation where you have to release the game or have to complete the game, if you decide to abandon it, you can just be like, not early access anymore.
Now it's done.
Yeah. Maybe they can have something where there's like a minimum goal. Like you have to have these amount of things in the game.
Yeah, but like, how do you define that? I mean, okay, the lawyers involved in writing the contract. That, I mean, and think about the development process of anything. Like, what if Linus Media Group,
What if something changes?
a year and 4.5 months ago, had been told to contractually commit to what kind of videos we were going to do 2 years from now? I mean, the amount that what we do has changed in that time. And I mean, any creative process is like that. You know, like a game. You might go, okay, we're going to have 3 campaigns and 3 races. And you might kind of go, oh, this is stupid. StarCraft's been made already. We're going to have 6 races, or we're going to have 2 races, or, you know, whatever else happens to be. As long as you don't just have 1 race, Donald, then... You know, you're being very 21st century about it. That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And the point is that that it can change. So the kind of contract that you would have to write to, like, spell it out in detail enough that they would actually have to deliver something.
I don't know how to fix it.
It's impossible. I mean, the lawyers would be happy with that arrangement, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah. One thing is, like, this comes back to the Kickstarter talk we were talking about a long time ago, and something that you guys should probably take a look at if you're really interested in this is Total Biscuit's video on early access. But it's where, like, do your research. Make sure the guy that you're supporting has, like, made a bunch of stuff.
Chris Roberts!
Hopefully it's a game studio. There are entire game studios putting stuff up on Greenlight and on Kickstarter. Make sure that there's some sort of a background. I haven't read enough into it, but I've heard some people saying that the guy that made Towns has a few failed projects in the past. I don't know if that's true. I've just seen that in a few different places. So, like, that's the kind of stuff you want to look into. It's an early access game. You are gambling to a certain point. You're not buying the game as is right now. Or if you are, then you're happy with it already and it doesn't matter.
But that's the problem, is that people feel like when they pay for something, they should get something. Like, here, and it's the whole...
Well, they should.
They should. That's the whole Kickstarter problem, is people perceive Kickstarter as, like, buying something. But the problem is that Kickstarter is more like a donation.
Yeah.
Because you're not buying something, because oftentimes they don't actually have to deliver it, or it doesn't have to be very functional. And then the other times, wait, so how am I... Oh, right. So, and the other problem is that if it is really successful, you don't actually get a cut of it. So it's not an investment, and it's not a purchase. It's a donation to support someone who you think should make the thing that you like. Like, honestly, guys, I've got what I think is a fantastic idea for a movie trailer that I want to make. I think that Linus Media Group has gotten to the point where we are capable of creating an awesome movie trailer. We are nowhere near capable of creating an awesome movie. They're really different. Very different things, completely different skill sets in a lot of ways. But what we could easily do is we could kickstart, and that's the thing, is a well-merchandised Kickstarter. So we could kickstart, support us to make this movie, give us, you know, $100,000 or whatever the case may be. We could make a fantastic trailer, spend $15,000, $20,000 on that, and then just, you know, buy ice cream with the other $80,000, release a movie that's, like, starring me and Luke and shot with, like, a phone camera. And we haven't actually done anything illegal.
And, like, this ties in, I think I've told this story on the show before, where I've backed a lot of Kickstarter projects. Most of them have been successful. Some of them have been glowingly successful to the point where the guy that's made it, Pebble.
Real companies are formed.
But, like, some of the smaller ones that I've done, where it is a company, but now it's, like, 2 or 3 people, and it's been a year and a half since I got my product in my hands for them. Like, it's been a long time. They're still in contact with all of us. All the Kickstarter backers are getting huge discounts all the time, just because they're like, thank you, you allowed us to become a thing. That's awesome, and that's what you kind of hope happens from Kickstarter. And they still allow us to put input in towards projects that they're doing in the future and stuff like that, which is really cool, but that doesn't happen all the time. I have been completely screwed over. I bought into a Kickstarter, the guy didn't post updates forever, and then was randomly like, yeah, nope, I didn't do anything, and I'm not going to do anything, so nope. Like, 100%. And then he's like, oh, apparently I have to give refunds, so give me your information. And then no update. And then months later, he's like, well, I'm doing the refunds today. No one got them. And then radio silence since then. I don't ever expect to get that money back. Because,
and you know what's really stupid is some of the Kickstarters I've seen fail are even things as stupid as like playing cards.
Yeah.
Like, they just
yeah.
flat out didn't make. It's like, really, what did you spend the money on? And you know, a lot of the time I think it's on like a posh office and like a nice new computer to put on their fancy desk, when really it frustrates me the way a lot of startups behave, like they already are making the money, as opposed to figuring out how to deliver the product the best that they possibly can to their customers, the best way they possibly can, without spending that money, so that they can keep that money to reinvest in themselves for the future. I mean, that's how I think businesses should be run, but a lot of the time, that's not really how it goes.
There was recently a Kickstarter, I don't remember what this was for, I wish I had research on this, but they were complaining that they had ran out of money, because one of the employees in the company, when they're running their Kickstarter, was in like serious money troubles. So when the Kickstarter ended and they got all the money, he took like a third of it. And they were just like, yeah, it's a cash advance for like 6 months' salary. And then they're like, oh wait, we don't have any money left because we gave it all to him. And it's like, what? Are you kidding me? Was that somewhere on the Kickstarter page? We were funding this guy's, like, probably, I'm gonna assume, gambling troubles? Like,
could be drugs.
Could be drugs. Could be anything. Like, no, that wasn't a part of the Kickstarter, but...
Could be just anything. I used to work with... I used to have a coworker who we were in sort of a similar... Without giving too much detail, I have some idea of what kind of money she made. And, like, the amount of money that I saw getting... Like, I knew the pay grade. I knew approximately the expenses. I knew her pretty well. And the amount of money that I saw her blowing on hobby stuff, I was sitting there going, okay, so you're constantly like asking for more money, but I know that you waste it all on stupid crap. So maybe if you stopped wasting it on stupid crap, we wouldn't have this problem, because you make a very fair living wage. Yeah. Speaking of a fair living wage, $3.2 billion. Apple's reportedly considering buying Beats for $3.2 billion. Oh, this has been updated since the last time I looked at it by Alex Goes High. Yeah. It's apparently kinda confirmed. So, right, yes, I did hear about this. So Dr. Dre was caught up celebrating the deal in his studio because he posted a video about said celebration on Facebook that has been deleted. The Verge evidently saved it to their servers prior to the takedown. So basically, in the video, Dr. Dre describes himself as the first billionaire in hip-hop, and doesn't explicitly confirm the Apple acquisition, but the implication there is that the deal is basically already done. So Apple would be acquiring not just like headphones, which to me is less, I mean, yeah, it's a huge business and all that, but that's less of a big deal. And probably if Apple decided to release their own Apple branded headphones, they could crush Beats headphones if they really felt like it. I mean, the kinds of people who buy Beats headphones are probably going to also be interested in Apple headphones. And quite frankly, I have a lot more faith in Apple than I do in Beats when it comes to making a decent pair of headphones.
I'd assume it had really good build quality, which I don't assume of Beats.
I
don't even know, but I don't assume.
They're nothing special.
I've never bought a pair of Beats.
So I forget where I was going with that.
What is your thing? Right. You said you have a very unpopular opinion about
I'll get to that. So Apple will also be buying Beats' streaming service. So that is a music streaming service that's actually similar to something that Apple's been rumored to be developing. So it would potentially work on Android devices. So this could be a great way for Apple to get into the music streaming service. I mean, music is something that Apple's been very heavily into since the Jobs days, and it could allow them to get a chunk of that pie on the Android side without like creating branding weirdness around, you know, iTunes for Android, you know, whatever they want to call it, or whatever that ends up turning into. So I think that's actually more interesting. It's funny to me that this is actually by far Apple's biggest acquisition. So it's the second biggest was actually Next back in 1997 when they brought Steve Jobs' Next computer company back, or Computing Next, I forget what it was called. Anyway, when they brought Next back into the fold and reacquired Steve Jobs. So this is far bigger than that. Apple's more about the little strategic micro acquisitions where they see like a really smart technology and buy them up before they get big.
Yeah.
So this is very uncharacteristic for them making like a power move like this.
It's interesting. I see it kind of makes sense though because of how much they're already entwined.
Yeah, sort of. I mean, they sell Beats in the Apple Store, but I mean, they also sell Cooler Master like aluminum phone stands in the store.
Yeah, but I bet you in terms of revenue, Beats brings in a lot more than the Cooler Master aluminum stand. You
know what's baffling to me is how I managed to live in the kind of bubble that I live in. Like when we were trying to do the Hackintosh build, the guy we were working with, Rampage Dev, who's a Hackintosh developer,
really nice guy,
super nice guy. We really like him, cool guy. He was like, "Oh yeah, to create the bootable USB drive, just plug it into a Mac and do this." I'm like, I don't have a Mac. He's like, "Then borrow one." I'm like, I don't know a single person who owns a Mac. And he's like, "What?" I'm like, "Look, don't worry, man. I'll figure it out." But I don't know a single person who owns a Mac. I don't know a single person who owns Beat headphones. Did I say Beats? Beats headphones. Who? Someone who works here?
A while ago.
Who?
I don't think he still has them.
Do I have to hit him?
I don't think he still has them.
I know he has Monster Turbines. Is it Brandon?
No.
It's not Ed, is it?
No.
No!
He had them a while ago. I don't know if he still has them.
No, we were making fun of people who own Beats headphones. Yeah, and I was saying that you have Monster earbuds, but those are actually fairly well reputed, so you're okay. You're off the hook, Brandon.
But yeah, he had the like small ones that go on your ear.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, headache. So
it was a while ago though, and he got like an employee discount on them.
It's our new guy. We are all ashamed of him. I wouldn't have hired him if I'd known that. That is a very sad state of affairs right now.
Imagine he posted that on the audio forum.
So here's
just get slaughtered.
Here's what I will say about an Apple Beats acquisition. I would actually be pretty excited to see a product that came out of this union. That's what I'll say. That's all I have to say about it. Guys, I'm going to create a straw poll.
Because Apple owns them, would you be as... I know, that would never happen. I'm not even going to put that up. I was going to say if it was the other way around, and I was like, no. There's no way. I could have made that, so you could have kept talking.
Oh, I don't really have anything else to say.
Okay, are we done with this topic then?
Yeah, I'm just going to, basically, I guess I do have more to say. So the reason that I would be excited about that is because Beats, I appreciate their style and I appreciate their marketing, but what has always been lacking for me is the actual build quality and the actual exceptionalness of the product.
So anything good.
Yeah. So, but what they've been good at... What they have been good at is increasing the demand for quality audio solutions.
Because people were like, "Wow, this is bad. I want to buy something better."
No. Like the commercials, like the HP Envy commercial, where they have Dr. Dre with his stupid headphones on an HP notebook, and like talking about how better audio enriches the experience because it does. The problem is that Beats never actually delivered the enriched audio experience. But the good thing they did was they made people aware of crappy audio and how much it sucks. So what I would like to see Apple do, so here's my straw poll, you guys. What I would like to see Apple do is actually build something with Beats branding that is good. Because hate on Apple all you want. The iPhone 5S is an exceptional piece of hardware, and even the Android fanboys have to agree that what's great about the HTC One series, the One M7 and the One M8, is that someone on the Android side finally rivaled Apple for build quality, which would imply that we never had anything equivalent before. They are quality-built products, they're fast, Apple actually engineers solutions that are good, they're processors that they actually build themselves, unlike pretty much everyone else. With the exception of Samsung, where they're just using an off-the-shelf processor, Apple actually engineers the crap out of things. So if they engineered the crap out of a $300 pair of headphones, I would expect to actually get $300 level build quality and $300 level sound quality out of it. That's what I would like to see.
You can't possibly say that they don't make things well.
You can, but it's just stupid. That's all I have to say about that. Okay,
well, I guess, you could technically say it.
Yeah, you could say it, but you're just completely wrong.
Yeah.
So, there you go. Do you want to do a topic?
Sure.
Pick one you like.
There's a few left, actually. There's a lot left here.
I'm going to throw those Strawpoll results up there. Boom.
Okay, so one that I find really interesting, because we've been talking about VR a lot lately, and yep, I'm going to talk about another Oculus Rift thing.
Woo! Yeah, baby!
Is that the biggest thing that we've both said is that it's not necessarily immersive enough.
Yeah.
Because not all your senses are engaged. And that's what's really interesting about this.
I could engage your senses.
That wouldn't have to be VR. Oh, God, really? Is this the thing that you're going to do on the show?
No.
Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. So... Wow. Anyways... So a company called something Birdly, I think, I'm a little bit distracted right now, has created this giant machine thing that they're quoting saying, you do not control a machine, you embody a bird. The red kite, which is a bird, by the way. But honestly, you're controlling a machine. But what's really interesting about it is that it engages your physical sense. So you're laying flat up on this machine, and then you have to flap as if you're a bird, like he's doing right there. And then it is putting smell into the environment. So what you see on the Oculus Rift is pushed through towards you. So if you're flying over a forest, you'll smell a forest. If you're flying over mud flats, you'll smell mud, whatever. And you can see that giant fan right in front of him. That fan will change how fast it's spinning depending on how fast he's going in the game. So if he starts going really quickly, the fan will start spinning really quickly. So you're getting, not necessarily accurate, but you're getting representative wind speed towards your head, and you're getting smell, and you're getting vision from the Oculus Rift. This is kind of the stuff that I'm talking about. It's still not going to feel like you're actually a bird, because you're laying on something kind of flapping around. But it should be really interesting to be able to try. They're saying that it has olfactoric. What is it called?
Sorry, what now?
Olfactoric.
Smell.
No, I know, but is that how you pronounce it?
I'm actually not sure. Olfactoric?
Olfactoric?
I don't know.
Olfaction?
Either way, it's olfactory perception. So
yeah, so olfactory perception is how you smell things. They have feedback on that. They also have feedback based on, which is based on the location of the bird while you're flying. I said if you fly over a forest, all that kind of stuff. And then it has wind speed and actually physically flapping. Oh, you can have that banana on your shirt. I don't want that in my hand.
Cool though, because this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to exciting things that we're going to be able to do with VR.
Yeah, and like this maybe isn't the most realistic thing for something that everyone's going to have in their house.
Yeah, it's like if we had conversations before about how I was like, yeah, Omni is cool, but like I wouldn't find room for it in my house. Like, yeah, I'm going to have like a dedicated like, you know, quarter of a room for like my bird simulator machine and my goat simulator machine and my farmer simulator machine. It's like, it's going to turn, you know what? Gaming is going back to arcade-sized machines.
They should get it to the point where there's one and it's like a transformer. You tell it what game you want to play and it just like changes itself.
That would be amazing. Somebody kickstart that. I'm not going to give you my money because I know you can't build it.
I was just going to say, don't kickstart it because you will never be successful.
Yeah, it won't work, but I like how you think.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
But I hope they have this kind of stuff at like Science World.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Or different things like that, so you can actually try
Telus World of Science.
Oh, whatever.
Can you believe that? Like, it's like telcos. You know, can you is there another way that you could demonstrate that you have too much money?
Telus World of Science, Rogers Arena.
Yeah, like no. Science World goes beyond that. So sponsoring arenas, that's one thing. That's like, yeah, we don't know what to do. Here's all the money to name your arena, whatever it is. Telus World of Science, they bought it. They own it.
What?
Yeah, so Science World is a dome in Vancouver.
It's really cool.
That's really cool. It's actually fantastic.
Science World After Dark is like one of the coolest things.
Great place to take the kids. Great place to even go on a date. Like they just have cool exhibits that are sciencey and like puzzles you can do. And
I've done it before. Multiple times.
Me too. So Science World's fantastic. So Telus, actually, they were running out of money because it was publicly funded, and you know, it's like anything cool. Not enough people go because everyone's too busy playing video games.
Although I've been like 5-6 times.
So Telus, one of our local telcos, just bought the thing. Just like, hey, whatever.
Okay.
Speaking of just buying the thing, I guess it's time for our sponsor segment. So we're gonna start with Dollar Shave Club.
Oh.
No. I'm actually not gonna do.
I finally got why the banana exists. I was like, this is weird, and I knew it was here. Like, it was prepped to be here, and like, if you wanted to eat the freaking banana, you could have eaten it before the show.
So Dollar Shave Club sent us a second package because you can see that between me wasting all of our shave butter, I actually really wish I hadn't wasted it. It smells really nice, and it's like kind of nice to use. So between me wasting all of our shave butter, Taryn stealing one of the razor handles, and someone else taking off with a pack of blades. I'm not even sure. They're not in the box anymore.
That was Taryn.
Yeah,
maybe
maybe
he asked you.
Did he? Well,
I'm
I wasn't
sure
paying
did.
attention. So Dollar Shave Club sent us a new pack of it so we can show you, I guess, what the smaller follow-up packages look like once you sign up for the club. But basically, the way Dollar Shave Club works, if you haven't heard of it before, I'm just going to switch to our, yes, join the club. Visit dollarshaveclub.com/Linus is what I really wanted to do was go to this one, is you go ahead and you sign up. And the first time you get a handle, you get some blades, and you get a pretty spectacular shave. They have multiple products, so they've got everything from, okay, so here, to put this in perspective, for $6.50, you get a 4-blade razor, the last razor you'll ever need, gentle shave, single stroke. Their commercial's fantastic, and even their most expensive offering is under $10. You're looking at the Canadian site right now, because I'm Canadian and it automatically redirects me, but in the US, the prices are actually slightly cheaper. All they have to really say about themselves is, look, the blades are great, they're a fraction of the cost of what you'll pay at the store, and you don't have to deal with the hassle of driving over to the store and dealing with, fighting someone to open up the stupid compartment that contains the razor and going and getting the key. I mean, I don't know when the last time you tried to get service at a grocery store was, but there's nobody there. Sorry?
I don't think I've ever actually tried to get service at a grocery store.
In theory, they have people, like, in the cosmetics department, where normally you would find...
The cosmetics department, I've seen people.
Yeah, so you can usually go get one of them to come and help you with the shaving supplies. But, like, see, this is... The fact that I can tell this story at all addresses why the need for something like Dollar Shave Club exists, where they deal with it for you. Every month, you're going to get a new pack of blades, so you can shave with a fresh razor every week. You can also order their shave butter whenever you run out, and you can get their One Wipe Charlies, which are peppermint-scented butt wipes for men. And they're, I mean, I'm not gonna sugarcoat this, because trust me, if you were to sugarcoat something that you wipe your butt with, that granulation is not going to be cool. Anyway, sorry, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Basically, they're pre-moistened towelettes that smell nice, and just to help in terms of effectiveness when you're trying to, gather up the troops, so to speak, and have them not smell when you're sitting next to people. You know what? My job isn't as easy as you might think it is.
I do it sometimes. I know it's not that easy.
All I'm trying to say, guys, is head over to dollarshaveclub.com/Linus, sign up for the club, get a great shave every day, and don't worry about the hassle of buying razors anymore. And I think that's all we have to say about that. And are you really going to do this to me? Wow.
Go along with your integration, Linus.
All right, so thank you, Asus, for sponsoring the WAN show. We are proudly using the Asus G750 JayZ gaming notebook for all of our WAN show needs, and actually needs that go beyond the WAN show. Since you messed up my last integration, why don't you go ahead and talk about why you took the G750 JayZ, which happens to belong to the company, on a personal trip with you. What was exactly the point of that?
Well, the point was that I had to test out a Tegra Note. So I had a phone, I had a Tegra Note, and I had a laptop. And part of my idea was, if I needed to do something, what did I go to grab? So I needed a laptop. That being said, I might own one.
So basically you decided, like, oh, well, this one's pretty badass, so even though I have my own laptop that I haven't even seen that in a while. Have you just junked it? And
no, I was using it for network diagnosis.
Okay, so you haven't just completely claimed this at this point, although you basically tried to... You know what's funny is when we first found out we were getting these, he didn't even know what the specs of the ones we were getting were. Like, no idea. I'm just like, yeah, we're getting new Asus gaming notebooks. And he's like, oh, we're getting them for WAN show? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, well, when we're done with WAN show, I can replace my desktop with it, right? I'm like...
It was a gaming level notebook. I knew it was going to be faster than the desktop that I have, which, like, I'm happy if it doesn't
It's
crash.
not even that bad. It's got a quad core.
Yeah, but, like, oh, man.
Okay, so the point of the G750 JayZ, it's not the lightest thing ever, okay? It's a little bit on the thicker side, it's a little bit on the heavier side. It's not an ultrabook, but the point of it is that it delivers pretty near a desktop-grade experience out of a notebook, something that is actually portable. And you know what I've actually observed? Like, I've been running on battery for the entire show here, and compared to my Dell, my XPS, which ran out of battery in 2 hours and 55 minutes or something today, I'm sitting with like 3 hours left of battery, even though we've been streaming for over an hour now. And I've been using it with battery before the show. So, I mean, I like that. The thing I like about a large notebook is that they can go ahead and put a big old battery in it. Yeah. And the fact that the GPU is not even on when you're just doing basic things with it means that you don't actually deal with that power loss. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know, but there's still technically...
It's a little bit. It's not much. These days, it's not much. Yeah. I forget what the features... Optimus, right.
That's awkward.
I was like, oh, yeah, I don't remember what that's called anymore, but the point is that it comes with a GTX 880M, which is about equivalent to a GTX 770 desktop GPU, and it comes with a Core i7-4700HQ, which is actually not really equivalent to anything. Intel's desktop CPUs are faster, but still, in our testing, we found that it kept up, you know, running BioShock Infinite on Ultra, Battlefield 4, all that stuff with a pretty reasonable gaming desktop. So that's all we have to say about that. Thank you, Dollar Shave Club. Thank you, Asus, for sponsoring the show. Remember, guys, if you want to join the club and get a great shave, not like you. You've just stopped shaving entirely, haven't you?
Well, my Dollar Shave Club razor had to be, like, borrowed for an integration and stuff, and then... Yeah.
Oh, that's why. Because I was saying, because I knew at least 2 of them were missing, and I was like, oh, one of the handles is back. Ew, it has, like, stuff on it. Is that you?
And then I probably don't really want it back.
Okay, well, I'll give you one back again, because I specifically asked them for a new one.
I'm going to a birthday party on Saturday night, so I'm going to have to grind my face with my 2-year-old razor. Take
the razor, jeez. You're killing me here. Anyway, guys, you can sign up at dollarshaveclub.com/Linus, and for the G750 JayZ, I think you guys know where to buy notebooks. There are lots of places to buy notebooks. Like... thenotebook.com.
Is that no? That's probably not a thing.
I actually don't know.
That's probably for the movie.
Yeah, I would think so.
Let's see.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and have a look at whether people would be excited to see an Apple/Beats co-developed product. The overwhelming majority of you say no or maybe, and the underwhelming...
That's a pretty flat vote.
The underwhelming minority of you say yes.
But then, yeah...
So for most of you, 0 cares were given. Okay, I get it. But I will objectively evaluate anything that comes out of that partnership.
Before the show was on, he asked me about it, and I said, I just can't really bring myself to care very much. And he's like, well, you should probably blah, 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 blah. And I was like, yeah, but it's from 2 companies that I'm not ever going to buy anything from.
You will never buy anything from Apple?
Probably not.
What if the iWatch is fantastic?
But then I'd have to get that whole ecosystem. That's how Apple works, really.
Yeah.
It would have to be really legendary.
What if the iPhone 6 is fantastic?
It could be, but if you look at the trending, every single time that Jobs goes away...
Every single... He went away once.
Twice.
Well, he died.
Yeah.
Really?
That's twice.
You're going to bring up Jobs' death.
I tried to do it lightly. I tried to do it really lightly, actually. Just didn't work at all.
All right, so Symantec's VP says antivirus is dead. This was posted on the forum by Nice Hat, along with some very amusing pictures. This one's fantastic.
Yeah,
if you guys can't read it, it's an anonymous Facebook post. My computer's being really slow. I forgot it had a virus. I'm just going to shut it down and stop using it until it goes away. Text me. And then it's just the most appropriate use of this guy that I think I have ever seen.
Yeah, probably me too. That's a really good picture.
That's fantastic. And you know, it would be funnier if we didn't know people like that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But I think we all do. So, what's your take on this? Is antivirus... Well, okay, first of all, we should probably... So basically, what Brian Dye says, so this is Senior VP of Information Security, is we don't think of antivirus as a moneymaker anymore. And that he points out that hackers are increasingly using novel bugs as ways to gain control of a system or gain information or whatever else it is that they're trying to do, as opposed to straight up computer viruses. And Mr. Dye estimates that antivirus now catches just 45% of cyber attacks. I mean, we've known for quite some time that spyware or adware were actually larger issues than traditional viruses, but I guess I've just never heard it from someone at a company like Symantec.
There's another thing though, like I think one of the big problems here is where he actually says we don't see it as a moneymaker in any way. And I think that stands out more than anything, because almost everyone I know in the tech industry, not everyone, but almost everyone I know in the tech industry is running a combination of antivirus software. The same one. Almost everybody. They run Windows stock, I don't even remember, Windows whatever, not
Defender, Security
Windows,
Essentials, whatever they're calling it now.
Microsoft Security Essentials, MSE, there we go. Microsoft Security Essentials for passive scanning of viruses, because there's a big difference between when it's just running, constantly looking for things, and when you manually run it. Huge difference. So I see most people that I know are running that for kind of passive scanning, and then once in a while, this is a really good idea for a straw poll, once every once in a while, they will download and run MBAM or Malwarebytes, and then run it for its active scan, the manual one, remove everything that it catches, and then just uninstall it. None of that costs any money. And the majority of people that I know that even run antiviruses are doing that combo, or just MSE, Microsoft Security Essentials, not even the MBAM once in a while. So I can totally see where they're talking about it not being a moneymaker. I'm surprised they're taking the stance they are. We're going like with the fake data and all that kind of stuff, considering that already exists with honeypots. Like I don't see them proposing anything that's really new. These are all things that already exist, so I find that a little bit interesting. And I don't think antivirus is unimportant. I think it might be unimportant to certain people. Yeah, for the random average Joe, it's probably fine if you just pay attention to what you're searching. You don't click on anything super stupid. Maybe you've been around on the internet for a really long time and you're really good at identifying download now buttons at this point, and you can read the URL at the bottom of your browser when you're highlighting buttons to make sure you're not going to some ad and you're actually downloading what you want, and stuff like that. Maybe you're good with that and you kind of either run MSE or nothing, and that's fine. You're probably okay, but at the corporate level, I think it still really matters. When if someone gets into your network and deletes everything on your server, it's catastrophic. I've done IT work for some law firms way back in the day. I don't do it anymore. But it was...
I thought you still did.
I do, but I'm kind of just like outside support.
Right, okay.
And like if they have a question, they'll email me, but everything's automated now. That I
Right.
I used to go in there all the time, because it was more like I was taking over for someone else, so I had to do a lot of stuff.
Right.
And now it's more just like if they have a problem, they'll call me in. And every once in a while, like every few months, I'll go in for a while and like make sure everything's good. Like I'll go in for a whole Saturday.
Right.
But it's not super common anymore.
So sorry, you were talking about how you were doing
Yeah,
that.
so them, huge, really big deal. They do a thing where I have it where one of their employees that's somewhat tech savvy walks in and plugs in a cable once every week, and it does a big backup to a computer. Plugs in one cable, unplugs another cable, so it does a big backup to an offline server that's almost always offline. So it could still get infected because you are plugging into a computer that is normally online.
Right.
But it's probably not going to happen to the point where everything's going to be deleted.
Right.
Or if it is, they have two servers, and like they're both running different operating systems. Like there's a bunch of layers of security. That's a really big deal, because if they lose everything, they're screwed.
Right.
They also have offsite backups. They have like multiple layers of security, so that to be able to take them down, you'd have to take down an offsite backup that's in the States, two things on site, like Dropbox style. Not actually Dropbox, but Dropbox style backups, like all this kind of stuff. It's not going to happen. That's important. And then they run antivirus all over the place because it's important, because their data is super important.
Right.
Is someone being able to see that I have 800 hours on Morrowind super important? Probably not.
Right. Okay.
So I think it depends who you are.
Well, it looks like actually our users are pretty safe. They practice safe internet browsing. So 30% of you are using real-time scanning and doing periodic cleanups, with 12% of you doing periodic cleanups only, and about the same number doing real-time scanning only, and about 11% of you using no antivirus, with the majority of the respondents, or at least more than any of the other replies, asking me to eat more bananas. It was hot. Unfortunately, since a banana isn't a real thing, I really can't do that. So I appreciate the I appreciate the thought, though. That was great. You guys are great. Okay, so Intel's Skylake. There have been some leaked documentations. This was posted on the forum by QWERTY Warrior. The original article is from Tech Power Up. And basically, it's 100 series. It's going to be coming with DDR4 support. It's going to be 14 nanometer processors, and it's going to feature Alpine Ridge Thunderbolt running at 40 gigabit per second. Wow. Man, that's fast.
I'm kind of surprised they're jumping into 100 series. I see a lot of companies when they get to the top, they just reset. Like,
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I don't really mind. It's just I'm saying I'm just kind of surprised.
I mean, AMD switched over to an X, but then Intel already has X whatever. So, yeah.
What you gonna do?
Painted yourselves into that corner, didn't you? So basically, compared to Haswell Refresh, and Broadwell, and to be clear, guys, Haswell Refresh is not a significant change over Haswell. It's just like slightly faster. SATA Express has been added. If you take the heatsink off of a Z97 board, it says Z87 Rev 2 on it. Like, it's not a big deal, but Broadwell is going to be a small generational change, or rather that'll be a significant generational change in terms of the manufacturing process. And then beyond that, that's when we're getting a new architecture. So that'll be Skylake, and that's coming in 2015. I'm actually curious to see when Broadwell's going to arrive. I guess that could be coming very soon then. Huh. I don't know. Intel doesn't really tell me anything. They just sort of, like, stuff arrives, and I'm like, yay, cool. Let's check it out. So it's going to have a whole bunch of really cool stuff. So they're going to have much improved wireless. They're going to have much improved Thunderbolt. And they are also going to have, hopefully, much improved CPUs. So this whole roadmap has been leaked. I guess that's really all I have to say about that, isn't it?
Yeah. There's honestly, there isn't a ton of information right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, take that and do whatever you want with
2015 is exciting. You know?
Yeah.
Even if it's late 2015, I guess if we got like a very late 2014 Broadwell, then a late 2015 Skylake could make sense.
Yep.
And that's actually pretty in line with some of the estimates we saw on that Thunderbolt 40 gigabit per second article that came out a little while ago.
Ah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so the timing is probably about right.
Now, I think we should straw poll this, because something that you talked about before the show that had to do with Kotaku, the next article you're doing. I want to see why people care. Or maybe Twitter Blitz.
Twitter Blitz, yeah. Okay, so there was so this was posted on the forum by Top War Gamer. Thank you very much for that. CEO Bobby Kotick has revealed that Activision is spending $500 million to try and make Destiny a hit. That's $500 million, which is a little less than double the unprecedented over $250 million that Rockstar paid to get GTA 5 made. I saw quite a few people attacking the article, saying that because it's on Kotaku, it's therefore completely not credible and completely stupid. But I would like to hear from our users.
Maybe
I'll create a straw poll here pretty quick here, guys. And then is Kotaku, because honestly, a lot of the stuff I've read on there, like, no one's right 100% of the time, but a lot of the stuff I've read on there has turned out to be perfectly fine.
I have no idea. It's possible that we missed something.
Yeah.
Like, that's totally possible.
Like, was there a huge controversy, like that whole, I don't know, what was it, LA Times Tesla review thing?
I think it was the LA Times Tesla review, Washington Post talking about Oculus.
Or Washington Post Tesla review?
Well, I'm not sure. There was someone, I think it might have been more than one group, actually, for Tesla.
Saw the New York Times. Sorry, it was New York Times. They eventually apologized for that and all that noise. So maybe Kotaku has done some stuff that neither of us is aware of.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, no. What's Kotaku? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and
allow multiple choices if you're gonna have that on the poll.
No. People have to pick one.
It's just going to be skewed now.
Can you imagine if, like, political elections had multiple choices? I would actually be more incentivized to vote.
Me too, actually.
Because if I could just say I don't care...
They should have multiple choices.
They should have multiple choices.
Because you could be like, I don't care, but these ones.
Like, any one of these ones is okay, because then you wouldn't have to worry about the vote getting split between...
And then that would probably help the whole two-party system thing. Anyways, we probably shouldn't talk about politics.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't talk about politics. I'm sure there's a good reason that we don't allow multiple choice. Yeah.
I actually can't think of one. But
maybe it's because, like, the real flaw in a multiple choice test, for example, is that someone can just guess and still get a passing grade, whereas on an election ballot, there's no right answer. So it's inherently flawed. Multiple choice doesn't address that by giving us a possibility to get it right. Maybe that's the issue.
What?
I'm just making things up.
It's like, that doesn't make any sense.
It's called WAN Show, not WAN's Show. Weekly Analysis, News, and Sense.
I think with analysis, people kind of assume that there's going to be some amount of sense.
They could, but they'd be... I mean, look at... They're voting for bananas.
That's because you didn't put multiple choice on this poll.
I don't have
And you put a question
I don't have
mark.
to put anything on my poll.
Why did you put a question mark?
I don't have to put anything on my poll that I don't want to.
Wow. Let me make the polls.
Are you making a poll right now?
Maybe. No one will know. They can't see my screen. Or what's behind my screen.
This show
is the best.
This show. Speaking of things that are the best, this is fantastic. Fantastic. Posted on the forum originally by L3 Black Moses. That makes more sense. Posted originally on the forum by Black Moses. The smartest protest ever. What do we got?
The smartest protest ever?
Yeah.
Am I in the wrong section right now?
No.
No? Fast lane to subscribers. I thought we were in a different thing.
We're talking about net neutrality.
Yeah, but there's a total... Okay. Anyways, there's two topics about net neutrality. I thought you entered that one. I thought you were talking about this one.
Yeah, that is the one I was talking about. Where did that go? Oh, that looked at the wrong article.
That's why I was like, what? Okay, this makes more sense.
Okay, so back to this. Okay, go.
Okay, so what they're doing is, well, this web host, and I think there's now a GitHub that has the code for it, so other people can implement it and all this kind of stuff. But what they're doing is they're making it so that different IPs that access their website that are from the FCC are getting incredibly slow traffic. So
like 28.8 dial-up, not even the fastest dial-up that we had,
no.
Like crappy dial-up.
Yeah, so like if the FCC tries to access their website, it'll go that slow. I think it's kind of cool and it's clever, but I don't think it's gonna matter unless like Google does it.
It's not going to matter unless Google does it, but it's not really the point. The point is...
I get it, and it's cool, and it does drive a point, and it's very interesting. But...
So we've got the Ferengi plan, or Ferengi, I can never remember. I'm not a Star Trek guy. The Ferengi plan is a special FCC-only internet plan that costs $1,000 per year and removes the 28.8 kilobit per second modem throttle to the FCC. We will happily take credit cards, Bitcoin, Dogecoin, and Dogecoin from crooked FCC executives that probably have plenty of money from bribes on our donations page. Sorry, we don't accept Latinum yet. So obviously the whole thing is just purely a joke, but the point is that net neutrality is important because it will prevent situations where an ISP can hold your internet connection or the speed with which you can connect to certain services ransom unless you're willing to pay them more money for it. And the problem with them holding, let's say I'm Luke's internet service provider, and I go, you know what, Luke?
I probably don't like you.
We
live in Canada. You all suck.
Well, whatever, man. You're stuck here. What are you going to do? Leave Canada? Canada's great for all kinds of other reasons. You can deal with crappy internet. Okay, so look, dude, you play a lot of games. You watch a lot of Twitch streams. Twitch streams, man, they use a lot of bandwidth. That means we got to go buy, like, switches and crap. And, like, you know,
that's what I'm paying you for.
Those switches are really expensive. Look, don't worry about that. Those switches are really expensive, so we need you to give us some money to, justify. So you can
buy another football stadium?
Because you're a heavy user, okay? You're putting more of a load
on our... Are you calling me fat?
You're putting more of a load on our system. That's a fat joke. Than the other users. Okay, so the problem is that then Mr. ISP gets to extract a bunch of money from him because you go, okay, look, if you want to access Twitch fast, we can give you like a fast lane for that, because otherwise, in the background, I could be slowing down his Twitch stream, and we see this all the time. You can go do a speed test tomorrow, and it'll have like a great speed, and then you go and try to load a YouTube video or watch a movie on Netflix, and you've got this degraded internet experience. So I'm telling Mr. User, I'm like, look, okay, yeah, you want fast Twitch? Yeah, sure, no problem, man. Just give us a couple more bucks. And then I'm going to turn around and I'm going to tell Twitch, hey, you guys are putting a bunch of load on our network with all of our users downloading your streams. You got to give us money to... And so all of a sudden we create the situation where the ISPs can double dip and just take additional money to build infrastructure that they should have built in the first place.
Which they got paid to build in the first place if you're in the States. And two, which they don't need. They're so baller. When it's at the point where like the only people that are buying these stupid investments, which is putting your name in front of a sports stadium, they're all ISPs or like cell providers? Are you kidding me? It's because they're just rolling in money. It's super dumb. They don't need any more money. Anyways, I do like the protest, though. I think it's pretty cool.
I think it's fantastic. I think it really makes a point to people who maybe just don't care enough. Maybe they just don't care enough to look into it. Like, I mean, you know what? Let's all be honest with ourselves. Do you do 100% the best job you possibly can at work every day? Do you do 100% of the due diligence? Maybe a few of you do. Some of you...
This is a really awkward position for me right now.
Probably don't. I'm not asking you. The point... I'm not even creating a poll for this. I'm just asking you guys to ask yourselves. You know, do you... Whether your job is to dig ditches, or to cook food, or to serve food, or to make internet videos, or to drive a truck, or whatever your job is. There's thousands and thousands of jobs. Do you do it the best every day? Maybe not. So maybe what we just need to do is we need to wake up someone who's been asleep at the wheel a little bit and go, hey, can you create some havoc internally over there and like get some attention around this? And this is the kind of protest that does more than just create noise. Because emails are easy to ignore. Facebook polls or protests or whatever. You just ignore that crap because it's just stupid. It's not relevant. Whereas when someone goes to access the internet and it's slow, and they go, oh, why is it slow? You're starting the inquisitive process. I was going to say inquisition. That's not right. You're starting the inquisitive process. You're getting them wondering what's going on. And once they understand what's going on, hey, well, someone's slowing down my internet. Why are they doing that? My internet should be fast. Right. And then we can hope that the light bulb turns on. So I thought this was a really effective way to get that point across, and I hope it works.
Yeah, no, it is really cool, actually.
Oh, I wasn't even aware of this. This is interesting. There's apparently some new graphics card coming. PowerColor.
Oh, yeah.
Has a new Devil 13.
This one has, now, it's posted by Brown Ninja, so I'm sure it'll be in the post somewhere. But it has, like, the Nemo fin thing, where the fan has the little fins in there. Is this that one? Let's go see. Yeah, see? The little tiny fins on the inside?
Yeah.
It also has 4 8-pin power connections.
4 8-pins?
You'll see if you keep on going down. There's the... Yeah, I knew it'd be in here somewhere. There. Boom.
Look at that.
Boom. It's just a monstrous card. So they ditched the whole AIO idea.
Air-cooled.
Yeah.
Air-cooled, rather. Wow. 4 8-pins.
Triple slot, 4 8-pins.
What the heck?
The thing is ridiculous.
Only 3 of those 4 are required. So if you want a little bit of extra overclocking headroom, you can plug in the 4th. And, wow. Look at the backplate. I like it.
It's actually pretty cool. Yeah.
It looks badass.
Yeah. Double 13.
Huh.
Someone in the comments somewhere on here, I don't remember where it was like, so 1 8-pin for the GPU, and then 1 for each fan.
For each.
Can't remember exactly how he said it, but it was awesome.
Them Nemo fans, when you got little fins like that, you gotta like work pretty
push
hard
harder.
to...
It takes a full 8-pin for each one of those fans, guys.
Yeah. Get it right. Jeez.
Yeah, that's kind of awesome. Should we jump into build logs?
Yeah, sure. I think that's pretty much it. I think I'm pretty much done for the week, so here we go. We
have something really special after build logs, guys. So...
Do we?
Yeah, we do.
Do I know about it?
I told you before the show.
That doesn't mean I know.
So the first one is... Oh.
Do I have Office on here? I hope so.
I hope so, too. It looks fine.
Oh, I have some kind of Office. Oh, I want to try it for a limited time. Oh.
No. Not good. It looks fine though, I think. Wow. All the tabs. No one can see what's going on. Hey, everyone.
Hey, guys. Sorry.
Where did it go?
It's here. Wow, I'm tired. There we go. Well,
it looks okay.
View.
Either way, every single time we do the build logs, every single build log I talk about, I'm like, you should probably just go check it out at the forum so you can see everything. So do that again. Check out these guys' full build logs where they have tons of pictures. You can see everything about it. You can go to the voting thread and see everyone who submitted. There's some guys that submitted that had really nice builds. The thing with having build logs per the week is there isn't enough, and the thing with having build logs per the month is there's a lot of really awesome ones and they don't all get through. So be sure to check out the voting thread because you can see everything. This build is super clean. The hard tubing, really popular thing lately, and I'm okay with that.
That looks fantastic.
Yeah, very cool. Absolutely beautiful. But while this one is really nice and very clean, I personally appreciate the next one a little bit more.
You know, I haven't seen many great builds in the 900D. Now that I think about it, it's like, yeah, it's big and it's like liquid cooling optimized, but it almost seems like Corsair took the challenge out of it a little bit for people by making it too easy to do a great build in. So I think a lot of people were turned off by that. That's just my perception. It's also extremely big and really heavy. Yeah. But this one's badass.
We gotta do the call-out thing.
Oh, sorry. So
this one is Portal Cube by Bjeldisha?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Look at that. That's fantastic.
It looks better if you see it not on the stream and not like converted.
Got in like 16 color mode.
Yeah.
So there's a power supply on the bottom. There's ITX there, and then you can go ahead and check out all of the different photos of it. So we should probably post a link to the build log section. I'm just going to track that down. Or if you want to post it in the Twitch chat.
I can go grab that if you jump on the next one on your screen. I'll post the thing in the chat and you can work on that.
We got an honorable mention here, guys. Project Affinity.
Do you remember now?
Nope.
This is the computer that people, I believe, built and distributed to Linus.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So a bunch of people on the forum, I think it's mainly people from the unofficial TeamSpeak.
Yeah.
All got together, built this computer, got him a whole bunch of games. This is a list of games that he got.
Wow. So, that's more games than I own.
No.
Well, it's more games than I play.
Yes. That is true. And, like, nice ones. Battlefield 4,
Star Citizen.
Star Citizen, like, big, not just like, oh, we bought a humble indie bundle. Like this, oh my god, they got him Secret of the Magic Crystals. That's a game about ponies.
Well, yeah, it is Linus. So, over 10 community members contributed, and this is just a really cool example of the community coming together and supporting each other. I mean, if you guys aren't already members of the LinusTechTips.com forum, you probably should be. I mean, this is just a small subset of like the super cool guys and gals that make up the community here. So, you know, we appreciate everyone just being part of it, and we think it's really, really awesome. So I think that's probably all I have to say about that.
Yeah, what's up with this stuff?
I'm not going to do these today. Oh, this is a company, Cogito, that they asked if I wanted to review the Cogito Pop and or the Cogito Classic. These are some smartwatches that I think actually are pretty unique in that particularly the Pop tries to make the smartwatchness, like by design, it's not that smart. So instead of having a screen, it's just an analog watch. Instead of having a screen that's like, blah, 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 read your text messages, reply to your text messages, talk into your wrist, it just flashes, hey, that notification you got was text, or it was an email, or it was an instant messaging thing. And it just tells you sort of what kind of notification it was. Then the Classic has an analog face, and then it actually does go into a little bit more detail in terms of what types of messages you got, so it gives you battery indication, and then you can read your messages on it as well, and it actually looks quite nice. So I was like, okay, well, I can't promise a review because I've never heard of you before, and I don't know if it's any good, but, you know, if it's fantastic, I'll do a review, and what I'll definitely do is try out the products and talk about them on the WAN show, so that's going to be coming sometime in the next week or two.
All right, I think that's about it. So,
okay, so Thank you again to our sponsors, Dollar Shave Club. Join the club. Visit dollarshaveclub.com/Linus. It's under $10 even for their best options. It's available in the US, Canada, and in Australia. So go ahead and do check that out. And Asus for... Wow, really? One of these days, you know what? When the sponsorship is over and I don't need that notebook for you to use it anymore, maybe I'll just break it.
No!
You're going to hold up JayZ,
No!
and I'm going to be like, this is what I think of JayZ. Actually, I don't think anything negative about JayZ. I'm sure he's a perfectly nice gentleman. I mean, this picture is...
He seems very friendly in that picture.
Yeah, he looks really friendly in that picture.
Yeah, I don't know why anyone would be scared.
I wouldn't be.
Nope.
Nope.
Not threatening at all.
I think we're done here.